For this project, label your drawing paper Oil Pastel Techniques and include your name. I'm working on a 12 by 9 inch piece of good drawing paper. With me today, I'm working with a baby wipe, oil pastels, a Q-tip, a kebab skewer, and a paper clip. First, I want you to practice blending primary colors together to make secondary colors. So I'm using yellow and I'm using red, and I'm using the baby wipe to clean the pastel and also to clean my fingers in between smudging. So I'm mixing yellow and red here to make the secondary color orange right in the middle. Next, I'm going to mix blue and yellow together to make green. And again, I'm putting the colors right next to each other on the paper, and then carefully and lightly I'm just kind of smudging them together. Over here off to the side, I'm blending colors together. So just grab some random colored oil pastels and make sure that they're clean when you work with them. And I just want you to practice mixing some colors together, put them side by side, maybe slightly overlap them, and then just give them a little smudge to see what happens. You can use a Q-tip for places where your finger is too big to smudge. Be sure to label your primary color mixtures and label this one color blends. Next, we're going to do some stippling, some hatching, and some scumbling. Scumbling is kind of a controlled scribble or mark. And again, I'm mixing colors together using a controlled, kind of a swirly design. For hatching, I'm just using some hatch marks and cross hatching, and I'm continuing to blend colors together and layer. And for stippling, you're just doing dots or stipples, and again, continuing to blend colors together. Next, we're going to play around with some intensity. Intensity is the use of the complementary colors. So on the color wheel, yellow is the complement of purple. So here I'm mixing yellow on one side and purple on one side and slightly blending them together. I forgot to go back on my primary colors here. I want to go back and also create a purple mixing two primaries, red and blue. We're also going to play around with value. So value is the lightness or the darkness. Value is pretty simple. You're just going to blend some colors together and then use your finger to go from dark to light, to smudge it out from dark to light. Back to intensity. I'm mixing red and its complementary color, which is green. Again, these colors sit opposite each other on the color wheel. And if you mix a little bit of the complementary color to the other color, it kind of dulls the color, makes it not so intense. So I'm mixing up an orange color and I'm blending that into blue, its complement. To get a shade of a color, to add a shade to a color, I should suggest, you mix a little bit of black, and to get a tint or lighten up a color, you add a little bit of white. When you're working with oil pastels, it's always a really good idea to practice using just a tiny bit of black and use black last. One last technique I want you to practice is etching. So I'm just mixing up some dark colors and I'm kind of blending them together a little bit, and then try using either a paper clip or the sharp end of a kebab skewer. So now that you've practiced working with oil pastels and different techniques, you're ready to start your final drawing. Just a couple more tips. Keep a baby wipe next to you at all times to keep your fingers clean while smudging. Also, wait and use black last. and use it sparingly. Here's a few examples of some oil pastels that I've completed over the years. It's also a good idea to practice mixing on a scratch piece of paper before you apply it to your final drawing.